Hello, good afternoon, friends. Let's get started. Let's do our ice cream next. So this ice cream is another super fun piece that you could add things to. I think it would be so fun to add beads, again, buttons, whatever you want. Okay. Let me get our stuff out of here and I'll move our ice cream cone out of the way. We have pink. We're going to start and paint our board with white paint. It's just white acrylic paint, so it'll wash with that soap and water. Okay, I'm going to use this brush. Again, we have a kind of a front and a back. You just use whichever side you want. I'm going to give this a rough coat. See how I did this one as a rough coat? That's what I call a rough coat of paint. You could see the wood through. That's what I kind of like about it. But I'm going to paint the sides kind of rough. All right, so you want to let this dry. And I'm going to place my ice cream cone first. This is the bag that has the hanger in it. So you'll get a hanger with each kit. I'm going to place my ice cream cone where I want it, and that'll help me get the scoops right, or scoop. So with this one, see how I kind of piled it up and made a ridge like an ice cream scooped it? So that's what I want to do with this too. And this is more of that crushed glass, so it's not sharp. The ice cream cone, however, the cone part itself is sharp. I'm going to have that kind of come over that edge a little bit. Just like a scoop of ice cream. I want to leave room for my cherry at the top. This is a really generous scoop. If you're doing this with kids, you could dump out your glass into a little cup like that and use that to sprinkle, or they could just pick it up with their little fingers. Now I'm going to sprinkle some of the sprinkles on there. So we have a little bag with some polymer sprinkles. These are made out of polymer clay, and some of them might be a little long. You might need to just break them in half or cut them down smaller because they're all handmade. So not made by me, but they're all handmade. So you might need to do that. But we'll nestle our cherry up there in the top. But just remember, you just want everything dry. You want to do it somewhere where it won't be disturbed for about 12 hours. There's texture on here. I meant to tell y'all that. There's texture on this ice cream cone. You can flip it over so that the texture is toward the board, or you can leave it with the texture up. It really doesn't matter. Either way you want to do that. I just know that people will ask that. Okay, I think we're good to go on our ice cream cone. I'm just going to... So, you know how I had paint in these cups? You could wipe that out if you wanted to. Or if you're working on plastic, which you should be working on plastic, like a trash bag or something. Okay, so I'm just going to turn these upside down like that. It's not going to hurt anything because you've got your plastic here, okay? And I'm going to set that up on the cup so it's like a little table. I want to make sure that that paint is dry. Okay, so your resin packet's going to be like this. You're going to cut the top of it off like that, okay? Don't cut through the resin packet. This has all the safety information if you want to read about it. You can do this indoors. You don't have to do it outside. I use only art resin because it has no VOCs. It has the highest UV rating on the market. I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on. Make sure if you do this, that you do this in an area that it's not going to be disturbed for about 12 to 18 hours because it's going to be really sticky for that long. And if you have something with dog hair or pet hair, human hair, dust, bugs, gnats, whatever it may be, you do not want to have anything land in it or fall in it because it'll be stuck there forever. Okay, I'm going to put this hanger aside. I just want you to know that on the back, all you have to do when you pull your piece up is set down your hanger and use a screwdriver. It helps if it's an electric screwdriver, and screw that in, okay? And that's what you'll do when it's all finished and dried. So I'm going to take my resin and slide this clip off, this pink clip, okay? This, and you can throw that part away. All right, so it's 2 parts, and you have part A and part B, and we're just gonna mix them together. Mix them together like this for 3 minutes. If you don't, it will remain sticky and it will never ever cure. So this is a good job for the kids to do, but mom or dad or aunt or uncle or whoever, make sure that you come in behind them and make sure they have really been working this packet for that long. And when we go to cut this, we're just gonna snip this corner up here and we're gonna drizzle. Okay, we're gonna start with the glass first. I'm not gonna start drizzling out here to the side on the wood because the glass is the most important part to cover, and it will drain down and hit the wood, and then it's gonna drain down and land on your plastic tarp underneath. You want to pour over the glass part first, and then it'll fill in all that other area. Squeeze some out of that corner there. Again, this is just like our ketchup packets or our paint packets. And not cut a very big corner because we need this whole packet to cover this whole piece, okay? I'm gonna start with the glass part. I know I need to cover that body there. And your resin will be warm enough after you've been massaging it and kneading it for that long. It'll be warm enough that it'll just drizzle down. But if you've kept it in a really cold environment, make sure you let it come to room temperature first. Okay, and I'm just drizzling over all of the glass first because it seeks the path of least resistance, so it's going to drain down between there. It's kind of like corn syrup, if you could imagine pouring corn syrup on this. And it'll drain down and hit that wood and spread out. This is what makes it so sparkly. Just remember, you have to be sure it is completely dry before you do this part. You don't want glue, you don't want any kind of wet paint, anything like that. Speaking of glue, if you're doing beads or something on here and you're having trouble with things staying where you want them to stay, you could just use a little bit of clear school glue. That works great to hold pieces in place until you can get them resined. I think we're good to go. I'm going to take my finger with my glove on it and kind of go around these sides and make sure these sides have some resin on them. You don't have to do that, but it will drip down on this side, and sometimes it looks just a little bit neater if you can clean up your sides like this. There we go, all set. All right, thank you all so much. Have a great day. Bye.